Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm videodiary. I shall we see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be vibing out as per usual. What should I talk about today? You know what I could talk about was something I was watching a little bit today and a little bit of last night, you know, when I have a little bit of time, is I've recently discovered, well, I say recently discovered, like, I mean, the story to get into it is not even very interesting, but I'm going to still stretch it out for about 15 minutes anyway, because there's no other way to fill up huge amounts of time. No, I'm joking. But I saw this Tumblr post, and I can't remember what the Tumblr post is about, but it had a fake screen cap on it from a Sonic game, which I don't know, but anyway, hold that thought. Hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 4:37 PM on Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. This may not count as news, but this will be crazy red, I assume. But yeah, it was a screen cap from like one of the Sonic games. I don't know nothing about Sonic games. I really couldn't tell you which one it is. Or at the time I couldn't tell you which one it was. But I do know there was, if you don't know at least, there's this YouTuber who does like these parody Sonic videos or whatever. He does his own like sort of fake dubs to like, I mean, not to like copy pastas necessarily. Well, I mean, sometimes copy pastas, but like memes or something. You've probably seen them like the JPEG, no, the GIF one. That's it. Like, how do you pronounce GIF? That Sonic one with like Sonic and Shadow talking in whatever game that is just like a dubbed over version of a cutscene. And I thought it was from that, so I looked it up, but it wasn't, and it was from something else entirely, which you might know perhaps, but it's called the Sonic Fandub, the Sonic real-time Fandub. That is it. That's his name, and it's something I only just recently found out about, which, you know, apparently it's been out for like 3 years or something. Created by, I cannot even remember who, Penny or something. Penny Parker, that's it. And I think that's a YouTube channel where she uploaded it with, and I don't really know what concept is behind it. I just like watched it sort of like out of whim, because I was just like, where did this screenshot come from? And, you know, that's where it said it was from, and I watched the link where someone said it was from, and I was like, whoa, this actually, I don't think I've laughed that hard for like so long. And that might sound like completely bewildering coming from me, because, you know, I have such milquetoast reactions to everything, but it's just like, I don't know, something about it is so genuinely funny for me. And I don't think it's like, you know, the peak of comedic writing or anything like that, but it's equally impressive in its own right, because it's completely improv, as I understand it. Like, I mean, real-time fandom, like, I don't know what other sort of conclusion I meant to draw from that, except for it's basically, it seems like she just took a group of her friends and was like, we're going to watch one of the Sonic games. Again, I can't remember which one it is. Like, Sonic Adventure, maybe? Is that one of them? I don't know. Is it one of, like, 3D cutscenes or whatever? And she just, like, took a group of friends and we're just like, we're just going to dub this in real time, like, and have our live reactions to it and just completely improv everything. And, you know, I watched it. Well, I watched one of them. And I was like, this is so good. I had to watch the other ones. And it's as I say, I don't know why I find it so just randomly. It sort of like nails my exact style of sense of humour, I suppose. Well, not exactly. I won't say that it exactly nails it, but it's just like something about it. I guess that's even more surprising, because it's not actually exactly my sense of humour. I just lied to you, sorry. I take back what I said, but something about it is just so innately funny. And it's just like, whenever people are just like a group of friends having a fun time together, just, I don't know, it's sort of like, what's the opposite of like pathos? Wait, maybe not the opposite of pathos. Is that just empathy? Just sort of like not imagining yourself in the situation, but it's almost like you're laughing along with them, kind of. But like, not in a parasocial way, is what I mean. Sorry, let me have some water. But I don't mean like listening to it. It's like, oh yeah, you know, it's like in their group of friends or something, listening to it. It's just more like the fact it's a group of friends all having a fun time together makes it infinitely more funny to me than like professional comedians writing out a skit or script or something and then like delivering on it. But watching it, it's just made me just sort of go like, man, I wish I was like good at improv or something. I honestly can't believe all of their comedic skits like that they do in that video is just completely off the top of their head. Because I can't even imagine, like, I talked about improv before, like, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, I kind of talked about like every topic before, but improv is such like an incredible skill to have, I suppose, in a certain sense. Because it's kind of difficult enough to even think about what to say or structure coherent sentences together. Well, at least for me personally. If I'm just trying to do it like sort of off the top of my head and just like, if you were just like, you know, fill in these 10 minutes or I suppose half an hour and just talk about literally anything whatsoever. You know, it's surprisingly difficult to do that, and it's gotten me, it's taken me quite a long time to actually, you know, get that sort of skill into my skill set in the first place. And even then, like, I don't even have to think about it trying to be funny. I don't have to try and be witty, have comedic timing. I'm not even doing it in a group, so I don't have to bounce off other people and make sure everyone's getting like their own sort of share of a spotlight or reacting to what people say. I just had to, I suppose it's a different skill set. I had to play a game at the same time, but you know, that's kind of like easy mode. A lot of the time I don't even do commentary, I suppose, relating to things outside of, rather than just reacting to the game in the first place, which, you know, reacting to a game is actually quite easy. You just sort of just say exactly what you're doing and what's happening, but it's just astonishing when you can do that. And it's the same thing when you see anyone like be really good at a skill. It's just like, oh, how do you get good at a skill? Obviously they've just practiced, they've just got a lot of experience with it, and it just, you know, ended up being something that they've developed over time and now they can do. So really, when I say like I can't believe anyone can do that, it's like obviously they've worked hard, you know, to hone their, I suppose, comedic abilities or whatever, you know, through acting or whatever have you. I'm not really sure what sort of things you had to go through to do like improv classes or whatever, well, improv performances, I guess improv classes now. That just answers my own question. But genuinely, the Sonic Fandubs are incredibly funny, I would say. Like, I'm not really someone for Fandubs a lot of the time. Like, I know there's been popular ones. I know there's that Yu-Gi-Oh one, which is super popular. There's another anime which got like a really popular one. I don't really remember off the top of my head. I only hear about the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. It's like the incorrect Yu-Gi-Oh double. Is that what it's called? I might mix that up with something else. I don't really recall. Actually, might have only had one. I think about it. Friendship is witchcraft. No, something is witchcraft. I know witchcraft. Which I don't actually know if I've ever actually seen an episode from it, to be perfectly honest. And I don't know. The Fandubs, I get the humour in them. And a lot of the times, I suppose, it's not like I can't appreciate the humour in them. It's just, I suppose it's the fact that the visuals aren't anything different kind of makes it something which I'm not so enticed to watch in the first place. Does that make sense? But I guess it's a little bit different with Sonic. So I should have couple of game dubbed, so I'm not just randomly saying just like Sonic this entire time. I don't even know what to search. I guess I searched Sonic. Wow, YouTube's being really slow. Sonic real-time Fandub. What game was it? Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. No, Sonic Adventure 2 is that one. It was. I guess it's a fact that I've never seen anything about it before. I've literally no idea about any of the Sonic games. I don't think I've ever played a Sonic game. No, that's not true. I have played one Sonic game. I don't know what Sonic game it was, but it was one of the early 2D ones. So, you know, I don't really think I had much of a story. I haven't really played any other Sonic games or anything like that, apart from Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games, and Mario and Sonic at the Beijing 2008 Olympic Games, Mario and Sonic at the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Games, Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games, and none of the other ones, because I don't think we did any other ones, did we? No, I think they did a Rio one in 2016, or maybe they didn't. I don't remember. It just sort of depends who gets the Olympic IP, I suppose, for that year to make it. So I guess the fact that the fact I even gave it a shot of it, I suppose, in the first place, is the fact that I literally had no idea what the cutscenes would be in the original game in the first place. So I don't have like my own ideas which I superimpose on it, which not ruin it for like other Fandubs, but, you know, sort of mix and muddle things. You know, I have an expectation of something to be happening, but when the actual thing which is happening is not completely, not meshing well with it, but not matching it, I suppose, ends up being kind of confusing, I suppose. But this, I suppose, is just kind of like as if I watched, if I was playing through the Sonic Adventure 2 game or whatever, but then just finding out that basically all the cutscenes and the story is just completely off the wall bonkers. I will say, you know, I suppose age rating, it probably is not totally age appropriate depending on your age. Maybe I'd give it like a 15 and up, maybe. I don't really know if that's true. I don't really remember how ESB ratings work. It's like teen is for like, is it? No, hold on. What, one of the ratings, maybe it's like for 8E for everyone, or 12 plus, or maybe it's teen, where you can say like one swear word. I only learned about it because of like Jojo Rabbit. Has whatever rating it has, and it has actually, to be fair, Jojo Rabbit has a lot of, you know, some pretty dark themes in it, to be fair, in the first place. But as you might expect for something which is based around like a world war, or during a wartime period. But you can only say like one swear word or something in a movie. And Jojo Rabbit uses it particularly well, I would say. I'm not going to give you any spoilers because it happens very near the end of the movie. I forgot where I was going with all of this. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what rating I give it, but I don't know how I've never even heard about this in the first place. Literally, and you know, because I know Sonic's kind of like, Sonic's not necessarily a meme, but I suppose that there's a lot of memes, I suppose, surrounding Sonic in the first place. Because the only sort of like brush up I have with Sonic is there's that the modern day Sonic cartoon. I forget what it is. Sonic Boom, is that it? It's kind of completely off the rails as well. It's one of those niche cartoons, which is just like, I assume basically the directors were just like, you know, oh, no one's actually going to watch this in the first place. Voice actors, you can just go absolutely crazy with it. So, you know, like the Sonic Boom cartoon, some of the Barbie and Dreamhouse cartoons apparently like that as well. I haven't watched that, so I don't really know. The Looney Tunes show, whichever that modern one is, where Daffy is, you know, just completely bonkers, and it's what I say. He's basically just a complete idiot in that one, but, you know, very lovable idiot. You know, it happens surprisingly frequently. No, Ghost Stories that anime dub. That's probably like the quintessential one. Which, I mean, that kind of sounds like a fan dub in of itself, and it kind of is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can probably search it on YouTube. There'll be things uploaded of Ghost Stories. It's some anime which, you know, I think it had like a serious dub in Japan or something, but then like it came to whatever studio wanted to dub it, but because it was like a commercial flop or something, the voice directors were just like, yo, you can just like do literally whatever, and then they were like, all right. So we just like improv. It was basically a huge improv spree from the voice cast, as I understand it, and it's utterly hilarious, and if also a little bit like and I don't know how to describe it in a shocking way, I suppose. You know, I wouldn't give it a PG rating, that's certainly for sure. But I suppose that therein lies the comedic value of it. Not all the comedic value, but some of the comedic value is, I suppose, the disposition between something which I assume was probably meant to be like a young teen, or maybe a kid's like anime or something, and then just like going to such what's the word? Bawdy topics, I suppose. I mean, bawdy makes me sound like someone from 1960s or something, 1920s even. No, 1960s. I don't know. Everyone always references like different eras and something like that. I'm like, I don't even know what these eras are, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, not like I've been watching it like religiously or something. What the heck's that? Oh, it's a weed one again. I keep forgetting about the selling clumps for weeds. I swear that must be a new mission or something. I swear I don't really recognise it. Not new for this update, but whenever I first discovered it, like a couple of updates, not a couple of updates, a couple of like months ago or something. But yeah, these Fandubs, I don't know. Like, the fandub is a pretty large community, I'd imagine. It's sort of like a natural evolution to any sort of fandom, you know, enjoying something. We're just like, oh, let's, you know, dub over the actual media property itself and put like a comedic spin on it. In the first place, I definitely respect that as I suppose, a comedic satire, a parody form, I suppose, is probably what it would come under, right? I'm just more shocked I haven't heard of this, you know. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone reference all of these, but it's just so, some of it, the scenes in it is so amazingly hilarious. Like, there's one scene where, like, there's nothing I could tell you that would make it comedic, because for one, I don't have a comedic chops to really deliver it in a way that would encapsulate it, and two, they would do a far better job, and three, it's like, you know, I can already see it happening, like me basically just describing the scenes I found funny and hilarious, but doesn't it really give a sort of feeling of like, oh, you sort of had to be there, if I try to describe it. So I'm not even going to describe it. If you want to watch it, you know, you can go watch it. They're like 20 minutes long or something, or some of them are kind of longer, so, you know, don't quote me on that. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, and they're all very intensely funny. Or at least I found them intensely funny. Maybe you won't find them intensely funny, in which case that's fair enough. You know, the world doesn't move to the beat of one drum, and the world doesn't laugh to the subject of one joke. I don't really know how I was going to continue that. Metaphor? Simile? Idiom? Phrase? Yeah, you know what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, it's very entertaining, I suppose. It's always, like, I always feel like I'm a complete, not maniac or something, well, maybe maniac, but when I find something like this funny, because I just know that I would want to talk about it with my friends, being like, oh, have any of you seen this? You should totally watch it, you'll find it funny, but then they'll watch it, they won't find it funny, because everyone's got different sort of, like, comedic things that we find funny. And it's not necessarily the content itself which I find funny, because it's not for everyone. It's just more like the way they deliver it, and the fact it's sort of like the camaraderie that's going on. I know I didn't say it was parasocial, and I'd like to think it's not parasocial, but I'm sure there's that sort of like social element that humans always have and crave, that when you hear other people laughing and having a good time together, it sort of makes you feel the same similar sort of way, just the curse of empathy, some might put it. And they're just not going to find it funny, and it's going to be like that really awkward situation where you're just like, I tried to show a funny YouTube video to someone else, but they didn't find it funny, so, they had to sort of awkwardly laugh, and everyone knows that they didn't find it funny, but you're laughing at it internally, and you're just, like, going, like, wait for it to get to the good bit, and it gets to the part that you thought was hilarious, and then when you watch it the first time yourself, you cracked up laughing, just continuously for ages, and then they get to it, and they just go, ha 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 ha, because they don't really, not that they don't really get it, they understand it, but, it's just not how their humour works, exactly. And then you just sort of vow to never sort of show those sort of videos to anyone again, because, you don't want to feel like you're going to be judged, I suppose, for your comedic values. No, this never happened to me. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm not sure if it has happened to me. It probably has happened to me, but I can't really think of an example off the top of my head. It's not like I'm not really a part, no, shock horror. I'm not really particularly the sort of person to go seek out comedic videos in the first place, and even when I do find something I find comedic, I'm not exactly the person to sort of share it with my friends, because I don't know, I guess I'm sort of in that mindset in the first place where I'm just like, maybe they'll find it funny, maybe they won't find it funny. I'll leave it up to them. I'll only send it to them if it gets naturally brought up in conversation, but I won't exactly, oh my word, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. I don't even know why I picked it up, because it said it was from Guangdong in China, so that was just a spam number, which I'm gonna sort of block right now. There you go, put that away, get me out of here. You were interrupting my beautiful rant about, I don't even know what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, like, if things naturally come up in conversation, I will for sure, send it to my friends. But I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, you got to watch this is hilarious, and then send a video to them. Like, I rarely send videos and media properties, I think, to some of my friends, because I suppose it's sort of like a mutual understanding that a lot of my interests don't necessarily overlap with theirs in the first place. And I don't mean that in the sense that, like, I'm trying to deprive them of things that I find funny, or trying to deprive them of things that I, enjoy. That's not sort of the case. But, I've shared things to them in the past before, they haven't necessarily found it funny, or they don't get necessarily why I find it funny, but it's sort of just like I'd rather share experiences that we can enjoy together rather than trying to, it's sort of like the situation where if you find something interesting, a lot of the times it's better to try and make friends with the people who also find that interesting than necessarily try and make the thing interesting to your friends, because, who says if it will be or not to them necessarily. Which, certainly when I was younger, I was guilty of that myself, and I'd like something, or I'd like something, and, I want to discuss with my friends, but none of my friends, of course, is going to partake in it because they don't find it that interesting. And that's totally fair. I mean, we're friends because, the differences, I suppose, are kind of what bring us together in the first place. To give us the opportunity, I suppose, to share it in different experiences, but, to also understand that a lot of the time, because the experiences are different, not always going to tickle everyone's fancy. Okay, radio exercises and hit rocks. So yeah, I have a pretty good idea of basically what sort of things my friends were like, and I don't think they necessarily find this hilarious. Maybe they'll find parts of it amusing, but, I'm very well aware, I suppose. My humour is very sort of strange and hard to put down, I suppose. And a lot of things that they've sent me in the past, I'll definitely watch it out of politeness, but, obviously, then also not surprised when I'm just going like, I didn't really find it that funny, but, I'm glad it made you happy. And I wish I knew exactly what my sort of sense of humour was, I suppose. Because otherwise people get the sort of idea that I'm like a stick in the mud. And I don't think I'm a stick in the mud. Certainly I'm someone who likes to play things safe, I suppose, rather than go completely reckless. But, well, I suppose that's not always true, I suppose. Because recently there was, if you don't know, Discord has this thing where you can play, like, games in them. They're rolling it out to, like, some select servers or whatever. You had to sort of randomly get chosen. I didn't mean to do motion, but I guess we'll do motion anyway, so... oh, no, we can switch the buttons. No, we can't. Okay, well, we're going to be doing it with motions, I suppose. I would recommend putting on your Joy-Con strap, but I'm not going to because it's underneath in my chest of drawers and down here, and I can't bother to get it. What was I saying? Yeah, like, oh yeah, I was talking about, like, the Discord. They have, like, inbuilt games or something now, Discord Labs, I think that's what it's called. Tried some of it out. It's interesting. Excuse me. And one of the things they had was poker. Like, is it Texas Hold'em poker? I forget which one it is. Well, you get 2 cards. I know there's like 2 different types of poker, but I forget which way round they are. But yeah, I played it with a few of my friends, but I suppose it was sort of enlightening to some of them who haven't played these sort of games with me before, but I'm so laissez-faire with my attitude towards it. It was basically just like I was all in on every single hand, because I'm just like, you know, you win it or you lose it. Who really cares? And before you ask, are you like that with real gambling? No. I would never actually play out like a poker table. I have no interest in going to Las Vegas and, you know, gambling in slots or anything like that. Because that just doesn't sound very interesting to me, to be perfectly honest. If I wanted to make money, I'd rather doing it through a much more guaranteed method, rather than trying to like gamble it away on something which I don't necessarily get a return from. And well, I understand if it, you know, if why isn't it jumping? I don't know. I'm not. Hello? Nah, good enough. I know. If gambling had a pity system, then maybe. But what was I saying? Yeah, I would not be that laissez-faire if I actually play poker in real life. I would not just go all in at every single opportunity. It was just because it was a digital product, I suppose. And the most amusing part is if you lost all your money, you could come back into the next table, and then also you would get all your money back as well. So that basically is why I did it in the first place. And then we were just like, okay, we probably should do this because it's just going to ruin the situation for everyone. So, you know, I really didn't care about, I didn't care about my friends, and I cared about having a good time enjoying the game with my friends, of course. But, you know, the actual like sort of any sort of semblance of strategy or betting or playing it safe, I just sort of just randomly betted, you know, wherever, you know. I don't really know much in way of poker strategy, so I just sort of did what I wanted. So I had a sort of laissez-faire attitude. But yeah, why was I saying this? Yeah, if I could better sort of describe exactly what my sort of comedic rallies are in the first place, I feel like that would be more enlightening, I suppose, to people. Because if you can tell, I have very sort of, not dulled emotions, but like mild reactions to everything. And, you know, it's got good and bad sides to it, certainly. It means that I can do super scary things, and I'm, like, quite, not stone-faced doing it, but, like, it doesn't really bother me all that much. Horror movies, like, don't mind. Horror games, also don't mind. But, you know, it comes to bad sides as well. It's like, if you don't get scared, I suppose, from horror games and horror movies nearly as much as other people, it's sort of just like, why am I playing this in the first place? The whole point, I suppose, is to have a sort of scary, intense atmosphere, which is, you know, well, I think jump scares are very boring, because, you know, I think most people think jump scares are very boring. They're a very sort of cheap way to elicit some sort of emotion out of someone. But even sort of more so for me, where if, you know, sometimes in jump scares I will go, whoa. But a lot of times I'll just go, oh. And of course, when you don't have much reaction in the first place, it's just like, oh, that's really a bit boring. I have a deep appreciation, I suppose, for horror, which actually, you know, tries to build a very unsettling atmosphere in the first place. Like Hereditary, I think, as a movie, did a very good job of that. And Parasite, in its latter half, I also think did quite a good job of that. It was kind of like thriller-esque, I suppose, rather than necessarily horror, but you get what I mean. Yeah, so, you know, good and bad sides. If you don't get scared as easily, you know, that kind of takes a lot of appeal, I suppose, out of the actual horror element of a media property itself. But it also means that when, you know, there's, like, really comedic things, like, I've been to comedy shows, strangely enough, because my friend's, he's sort of a person who, you know, he's a mood maker, I suppose. He laughs a lot, you know, tries to make people laugh whenever he can. Wanted to go to it, and, you know, I was like, tagged along the show, and, like, it's not like I didn't laugh. I probably did laugh, but it's probably more like, ha 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 ha. It's very rare, I suppose, to see me, like, absolutely, like, doubled over with laughter. You know, I would say certainly in more recent years, I'm certainly much more easily prone to laughter, I suppose, than before. You know, before I was super, super, like, stone-faced. But, you know, now, you know, I'm much more outwardly expressing internal emotions, I suppose. It's not like I don't find things funny. I do find things internally. It's just like I don't have very strong outward expressions of them in the first place. What was this, like some sort of like psychology experiment, or not psychology, psychological analysis I'm doing on myself, I suppose, in the middle of an Animal Crossing video. What are we doing well mission wise? I'm just running back and forth. I'm not gonna do that. I guess we could talk to people and change up our wardrobe. I forgot where I was going with all of this. Yeah, I don't know, I guess the long and short of it is sort of just like, you know, it'd be nice if I was more animated, but I'm totally fine with being sort of like as mild with my reactions as I am. And this is why I was just like, oh, you know, it's so rare to see myself, you know, actually so genuinely sort of like belly laughing at just a random video, which I didn't, like, if you told me beforehand would you find this funny? I'd be like, probably not, and I can't imagine I'd find like this random fandom of a media property I have no investment in particularly funny. But I don't know, something about it sort of just tickles my fancy. And I latch onto those moments where I find things extremely funny. Like I remember this other moment in Critical Role, Campaign 3, which I found for some reason just utterly hilarious. Which obviously I'm not going to try and tell you it in a comedic way, but it's a part where what's her name, Laura. I've got her name. Oh, Laura, playing a character of Imogen, suggests that they should be like swinging their arms around trying to search for an invisible person. I don't know why I found that necessarily so funny. And I'm trying to think about what I found funny when I was younger. is a weird part as well. Because I used to find like Dane Cook for some reason incredibly funny. And you might be like, what? Yeah, I did. And by the way, I was like 8 or something. It was quite near the start of YouTube when people like made like MS Paint like animatics. Like maybe 8's a bit too young. I don't know if 2005 YouTube was. I used YouTube back then, but I don't even know if it was YouTube was made back then. Maybe I was around 10 then. That's probably a better age. What am I doing in here? I guess we're selling things. I'm not really sure. Yeah. I don't really know what I was saying. if I was saying anything of like noteworthiness at all. Just sort of Fandubs. I don't know. I guess maybe I should give more Fandubs a chance. Like maybe I should actually watch that Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandub, which I said I know nothing about, because perhaps I'd find it particularly amusing. I'm surprised how clumps of weeds is actually like a mission, because it's quite hard to get this many weeds, isn't it? Unless you stockpile them. What's that other really? There's another like really popular Fandub, and it's not the Sonic one. Now the Sonic one is the only one that comes up in YouTube. It's literally just a Snapcube person. No, I know there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! One which is very popular, but I know I'm just going to close it. I will probably watch them, and then I'll just I don't know. It's not very it's hard to quote for things because they're sort of like based around the context of being funny in the first place. I mean, I could just bust out random quotes, but that is the sort of person I am. I do like to do a lot of mimicry. Whenever I hear a line I'll just like sort of say it over and over again. Not over and over again, but I'll just say it at random times. Like, haha, one! That's one of my famous quotes. Favourite quotes, not famous quotes. I was like, that didn't sound right. From a Fandub. I don't know. I don't even know what I talked about in this episode. Fandubs, I guess. I don't really have anything else to say, so I suppose this is probably as good a time as any to round off this video. So, I don't know, give it a watch if you want. Don't give it a watch if you don't want. I'm not a boss of your life. You can do whatever you want. It's a free world. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.